Well, I didn't even want to use them. Last time I had a big problem. They oscillated my mics when I had the one debate. We had 3 debates with Hillary, and on I think the first debate, on the first debate, they oscillated the mic, and they oscillated it very, very seriously, and they actually apologized to me.
In 2016.
And I said, what's this all about? They were Clinton people. Yeah. And I said, we ought to just do the debates ourselves, John. We ought to just do it ourselves. And I pick, I'm the president, so if we want to have debates, I'd rather just do it ourselves. Pick some good anchor. But I will say this, absentee is okay, because absentee ballots, excuse me.
So that was Donald Trump's voice basically just conking out live with Sean Hannity on Fox News during an interview. And this is a man that is supposedly saying that he's better. He hasn't felt better in 20 years. He's quote unquote cured. And he thinks he's ready not only for a virtual debate, but for a physical in-person debate. And supposedly he's being given clearance for that by some of his doctors. It's all absurd. This man is not better yet. He's not. He is not better. I'm going to play you another clip here because it's Hannity asking him if he's actually tested negative, and Trump just runs by the question.
Now are incredible. Remdesivir, but that's a little bit different, works much differently, actually. But these things are absolutely incredible. I think I'm going to try doing a rally on Saturday night if we have enough time to put it together. But we want to do a rally in Florida, probably in Florida on Saturday night. Might come back and do one in Pennsylvania in the following night. And it's incredible what's going on. I feel so good.
Have you had a test since your diagnosis a week ago?
Well, what we're doing is probably the test will be tomorrow, the actual test, because there's no reason to test all the time. But they found very little infection or virus, if any. I don't know that they found any. I didn't go into it greatly with the doctors. We have these great doctors at Walter Reed, and you do rely on them. They're really fantastic talents, and they came in from Johns Hopkins also and other places. When you're president, I never saw so many doctors looking over me. I think I'm the most analyzed human being in the world right now. But we have the head people at, not only Walter Reed, which is incredible with the job they do, but also Johns Hopkins and other hospitals. And I think they're amazed at how quickly this went, frankly.
Let me ask you
So what you can see is this is a man that's likely still very much with COVID-19 in his system. He's still being affected by it, and he's almost certainly symptomatic, and he can pass it on to other people as well. This is not a person that's better, and it's absurd to pretend otherwise. He can't even get through this. What happens there, it's one of two things. Either his voice just conks out fully for seconds in the middle of an interview, or he's muting the microphone. He's muting his end of the line so that the people on Fox News and everybody else don't hear the president hacking and coughing live on air when, again, supposedly Regeneron and all these sorts of things have made him better, and it's not a big deal. This is a person that is not out of the woods yet. Again, he certainly looks better than he did when he was wincing and gasping 2 or 3 days ago. Certainly looks better than when he went to Walter Reed. No one's going to deny that. No one reasonable anyway. But to think that this guy is healthy enough to go to a physical debate as scheduled next week is absurd. And if you care for Donald Trump, look, I'm not a Donald Trump fan. I think he's an awful human being. I really do. And I think he's an awful president. But if you're a Trump supporter, if you actually like Donald Trump, then wouldn't you want him to take care of himself? Like, why aren't Trump supporters, those close to Trump, saying, Mr. President, you need to take care of yourself. You need to slow down, and you need to ensure that you, one, protect others because you're still, with the coronavirus, but also that you rest and recover to protect yourself. And so that you're ready to go for the final few days of the campaign. And that, frankly, so that you can live the rest of your life, whether you win or lose, and have a fighting chance to survive. If I was somebody that liked Donald Trump, that's what I would be telling him. Whether I was, I had his ear directly, or whether I was just some regular person that supported this man. But he is really, again, there's a couple reasons for this. He's really trying to make a push to assert that he's healthy, because he knows that the more and more people see him as sick, he will be seen as weak. And there's nothing more that Donald Trump hates than to be seen as weak. And there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable or weak at times. That's part of the human experience. But for Trump, there's this perpetual idea that any weakness, any at all, even if it's based around just legitimately being sick, is somehow effeminate and awful and unpresidential and unbecoming. But it's also that Donald Trump knows that he is exhibit A to the entire population, but especially people that actually listen to what he says, about how dangerous this is. And so when he goes to people and says, look, I'm feeling great. I was, just a quick stop at Walter Reed, got a brand new treatment that I want you all to get. It's going to be fine. Don't let this scare you. Don't let this run your life. Whatever. It'll be fine. When he says that, maybe that encourages his people to believe him that everything's under control. But when you actually look at Trump, and you listen to Trump, and you hear his voice conk out, and you hear him with the raspiness, and you see him with his complexion not quite right. You see him in some of his videos still breathing a little bit off. This is not a man that's better. And this is a man that, even with state-of-the-art, millions of dollars of healthcare likely, even over a few days, still is not better and may not get all the way better. If you want to know why Donald Trump is lying, this is why. Every moment people see him sick with COVID, it exposes the lies he's been telling since February.